So it was recently announced that you're starting your own music label. What was the motivation for that?
Really, man, I've exhausted the record label thing. I have 4 albums out, and I've had that experience. It's been a great run. I think the Lord has done a lot of things through those projects. But just being exposed to a lot of the business aspect and the ministry aspect, I was like, man, I think it would be great to create another avenue for other solid Christian rap artists who don't really have a railroad. They don't really have exposure. So I was like, man, Lord, with the influence and the momentum that you've given me, it would just be banging to come in and place another label alongside of the other ones that are killing it, and that way we could just continue to spread the kingdom. So that was one of my main motivations, was to serve. But also I thought it would be a good move for my wife and I to step in that arena and get our feet wet in the business world, just learning that, and we're excited to practice faith in a new area of life. So it's good, man. We're excited.
So why the name Clear Sight Music?
Excellent. The name Clear Sight Music actually comes from a personal experience. So there was a point in my Christian walk where I think my vision was cloudy. I wasn't really getting as much from my relationship with the Lord as I should have been. And I remember just a series of events happening that kind of broke me and humbled me. And I just remember crying out to the Lord with literal tears and just anguish in my soul, like, man, Lord, just help me, like, open my eyes, let me see you in a greater light, in a different capacity. And I was like, I just want to see clearly. I want clear sight. I just kept repeating that in my prayer. I want clear sight. I want to see, Lord. I want clear sight. And at that point, I just kind of adapted that for a lot of things, man. And so Clear Sight Music came out of that.
That's awesome, man. So do you have any artists on board yet?
Not yet, man. As I travel, I meet a lot of artists who are killing it. Skill set's crazy. They love the scriptures. They love Jesus. But at this point, I'm just kind of keeping my eyes open and keeping my ears open for the right group of people, a person to work with. So I'm open to that. You know, that's one of the goals of the label.
And will your solo projects be released through Clear Sight?
Absolutely, absolutely, man. That's one of the things I'm grinding on now. So the next project will come out under Clear Sight Music, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a good look. So yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us anything about the project yet, or is it still under wraps?
Some of it is still under wraps, but I think overall, what I'm trying to do with this project, man, is I'm speaking from a lot of time spent in the scriptures. So I've been in school, right? So been studying biblical counseling at Boyce College, and my heart is burdened for people, for issues, just in the counseling arena. So it's just coming up out of the waters of the scriptures, like, and I'm just ready to speak. You know what I mean? I'm ready to say. So I'm really passionate right now at this point about communicating some things that I think are being left out in music. So I'm in the text, I'm getting it in. I've been married for over 2 years now, so that adds a different dynamic to my life and to my music. So that's another thing. Finishing up school adds a different dynamic. And then I've been just with people, man. Like, I'm leading a Tuesday night Bible study, doing things in the community. So I'm just with people, just regular people, regular issues. And I'm like, man, I want to say some things that would point them to Christ, but really help them in practical ways. So that's kind of what's brewing with the next project, man.
Is there like any trepidation because like you're going from just being an artist, just only having to worry, is the music good? I mean, good music, okay, promote it, guys.
Yeah.
So is there any like kind of like concerns or like trepidation with stepping into like doing the business side as well as the artist side?
Yeah, absolutely, man. In one sense, it could be scary because it's a new arena, but I wouldn't have done it if I didn't get wise counsel. So one of the things I'm excited about is my pastor and other elders are involved in the label move. They will operate as accountability for the label, putting things in place to guard the financial aspect. So I'll have people making sure I'm honoring Christ in the way I deal with money and deal with other people's money. I've had professors at my school sitting down with them having conversations about motives and goals and things like that. I've sat down with business attorneys and kind of mapped out for them my projection of 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, things of that nature. And it's just been a consensus of, we think this is a good look for you. So yes, it's scary, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm encouraged and I'm confident because the Lord has, just through a multitude of counsel, kind of seemed like he's giving a thumbs up. So in that sense, it's an act of faith that I'm excited about.
So as far as like relationship with Cross Moon Records, which you have been part of for like so long, for as long as we've known you. So were they like okay with you leaving, or because like you are probably their biggest artist at this moment, or were their biggest artist?
Got you. Yeah, first of all, are they okay with me leaving? That's a good question. I think, I mean, you, in one sense you can understand, right? Because I've been with these dudes, I've grinded with them, we've developed a relationship, a bond. So it's almost like, it's hard to say goodbye in that sense, you know what I mean? But we had a chance to have true closure. So it's nothing left out there. There's no ends that are untied. It's like closure was brought, and in that sense, it's like a blessing. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just excited, man, to have learned from them dudes. They kind of paved the way, at least in my experience, and to take elements, you know what I mean, from them that I want to implement and things that I don't want to implement, and just run with this new effort. But yeah, man, you know what I mean? It's just time. It's time for it. So I think one of the things I'm excited about with the actual album is first the production. I'm working with DJ Official. You know, I think he's a beast. It's a new cat I'm working with. His name is Cheese. He's from Texas, and he's doing a lot for Reach Records right now. Dude's a beast. I'm trying to implement some live instrumentation. Shout out to Triple E. He kind of inspired me in that way. He had a lot of live music that was good and it was pleasing to the ear, and I was like, man, I kind of took it there, you know what I mean, with the Joyful Noise piece, with the live guitars and stuff like that. So I'm gonna add a little bit live instrumentation, and I'm excited about that. Also, what I'm going for real, man, really is just strong emotion. Like, I think that's something that's missing from music. Like, I heard good party songs and, you know, good teachy songs, and, you know, that instruct you and inform you. But one of the things I just feel like, man, I want to just bring some emotion. I want you I want you to be able to cry. I want you to be able to think deeply. I want you to be able to just feel just a different range of emotion. So I'm trying to make the production really big and powerful, you know what I mean? And part of the main motivation is just from my studies in the book of John. So I'm just trying to pull out main themes from the book of John. I've just been plowing through that. I'm teaching that every Tuesday night, and I'm just jotting down the questions that people have just about regular life. And the book of John has so much to say. So as I'm plowing through that, I'm thinking like, man, it's gonna be good to take some of these themes, but communicate them in such a way where dudes in the streets can catch it, new Christians can catch it, Christians that may be caught up in a theological perspective that's hindering their walk with the Lord can catch it, and mature believers can also be encouraged. So the book of John is rocking me, man. So I'm pulling out specific things from that. So in that way, it's going to be good music, but it's going to be strong theologically and biblically. But overall, I think it's going to move people. It's going to move you and say, you know what? Like John 17:3, where it just says, eternal life is to know you, talking about the Father. It's just an album calling people, like, let's hunger for God. Like, let's anguish. Let's desire God strongly, so much so that we become radical and that we do things for the Lord that people would think we're crazy for. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's rally around this passion for God and let's let it permeate the world and the church, you know what I mean, and let's put it down. So
that sounds dope.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've definitely noticed with your music, it seemed like with each album you drop, like as an artist, it had just been remarkably better. Like not even a little bit better, but like huge leaps with every album. Yeah. But after Our World Redeemed, which was like almost a perfect album, it's just like where can you go from there?
Yeah, it's funny, man. In one sense, it's comforting because it's like I didn't try to do anything with the album other than what I had already done. So in one sense, it's like just stick to the guns, you know what I mean? Stick to the script. But in another sense, it could be intimidating because, you know, people are always ready for you to trump the next thing and do something great, do something better. So in that sense, it could be a little intimidating. But overall, I like it because it produces more creativity. So it makes me have to go to the drawing board and be like, all right, I don't want to be repetitive and do something I've already done. Or if I do, let me put such a spin on it that it seems fresh and has a new way of feeling and experiencing it. So in that sense, I think it's a good thing. So yeah, man, I got a lot of key people listening in, making sure that it's good music. Because at the end of the day, you want to make a project that music listeners can respect. Because you could be saying all the right stuff, But if it ain't coming across right, cats will be like, psh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Frisbee your CD out the window. So I got key people involved that's critiquing and making sure that it's a quality album as well. You know?
And can we expect to see it in stores?
What I'm shooting for is after Christmas, so maybe around the 28th, maybe top of the new year, something like that. But I'm definitely committed to grinding it out to get it as close as I can to after Christmas. If some type of hindrance comes in, definitely at the top of the new year, you know what I mean? But behind the scenes, I'm grinding to honor that end of the year thing.
Rapzilla.com